Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. Today we're going to talk about how much higher cryptocurrencies can go. We're going to cover both, the short term, the medium term, and the longer term. Other than that, we're going to talk about what's been going on over the past 24 hours. As you can see, we are a little bit mixed here across the board. Some cryptocurrencies doing better than others, and it seems to be really dependent on if certain cryptocurrencies have gone up already a lot. They're probably consolidating or pulling back a bit. And if some cryptocurrencies were behind, they seem to be doing a little bit better right now. So we're going to start off our technical analysis with Bitcoin in just a second. Other than that, make sure to follow me on Twitter for live cryptocurrency market updates. And definitely check out my premium content for cryptocurrency buying opportunities, as well as 5 high return cryptocurrencies. Let's get started with the Bitcoin technical analysis. So right now, Bitcoin is pulling back towards its short-term uptrend line. It actually was in the process of doing so yesterday, but as you can see, it rebounded from that very quickly. So we're just pulling back even more now and seeing if we're going to get a little bit of a red day. But normally we should be able to keep up with this trend and move higher. We are obviously facing a lot of resistance from that $9,000 area. So we're really just going to see over the next few days if we're going to be able to, break above $9,000, start moving towards $10,000, or maybe we're going to lose our uptrend line support and consolidate a bit. Normally here, considering that the market is strong, we should be able to move above $9,000, but this uptrend line is starting to get a bit steep, and it is looking like certain cryptocurrencies are going to start to consolidate a bit. So we really just have to see over the next, 2 days, I'd say, what's going to happen. But for the time being, our uptrend lines are still intact, both on the price side of things and on the indicators. Let's go over to Ethereum next and see what's going on. So we're going to go over to the Coinbase chart. And Ethereum is looking pretty decent here. We do have a green candlestick. But as you can see, we may have a little bit of a triple top here. And we do have this longer upper wick. So we are coming up definitely on our first bit of resistance at around, it seems like 600 and a little bit under $650 is where we're facing some resistance. So we'll also have to see here if we are going to manage to sustain these higher prices, or are we going to come back and pull back to this red uptrend line, which is a shorter term uptrend line, but I should go ahead and draw in our even more shorter term, I guess you could say, current uptrend line. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in right now. And this is the uptrend line that we'll have to see if we're going to manage to hold above in the very short term. Ultimately, we'll know over the next few days. It does look like this one should be able to sustain, to be quite honest. So at this point, if we see that we're not going to push higher, we're probably just going to pull back towards this green uptrend line and move higher from there, right? So either way, we're still looking very good here. Indicators still moving higher. And, pretty steady uptrend lines basically is what's happening. We do have resistance, of course, at $700 and then at $764. So those are the two next levels that we'll be looking towards. And, over the next week or so, I really think we'll already be above $700 either way here, even if we do get a little bit of consolidation beforehand. Let's take a look at Litecoin and see what's going on. So Litecoin has been in a little bit of a different situation compared to Bitcoin and Ethereum as far as its chart setup. Right now, we have pulled back a bit from, coming towards that red uptrend line, which is a longer term uptrend line. So we're moving back towards $145. With that being said, it's nothing to be concerned about. We're still above our uptrend line, and we could pull back towards that, but even then, it seems like this uptrend line would hold at this point. We do have multiple layers of support now with this $145 level and the uptrend line and our middle band and everything. So definitely enough layers to hold prices up at this point. And we could see a bounce, tomorrow already if we're ready to move higher, or maybe just a few days of consolidation. And after that, hopefully we'll get towards that uptrend line and get a bounce off that level and start moving higher from there, right? If we take a look, I just drew out extended my uptrend line, my green uptrend line, I should say, and I'll go ahead and make this red so you get a better idea of what I'm talking about. But right now, Litecoin is in a little bit of a channel or a wedge, as you can see, where we should move higher here, right? This is an uptrending channel, so you get the idea of where we might bounce in between these two trend lines, these red trend lines, as we'll move higher, right? So that would make sense right now that that's the path that we'd be heading in. And, it's pretty clear cut at this point, right? Right between these two red trend lines. Let's go ahead and take a look at Nano next. So Nano is still consolidating between 70,000 and 80,000 Satoshis. That's probably going to continue a little bit longer until we see a move above 80,000 Satoshis, hopefully. And after that, we can start moving towards 100,000 Satoshis. Let's go next to Ripple and see what's been going on. So we're going to go over to the Bittrex chart. And Ripple currently has a little bit of an inverse hammer doji candlestick. So we're moving back towards that 84-cent support level. And we're back below the 70 line on the RSI. So a little bit of a bearish tone. Just a pullback though, nothing major right now. And I do have to put in our new short-term uptrend line because we have extended ourselves a bit. So that's this red uptrend line. We'll see over the next few days, probably going to get a little bit of consolidation, and then I think we can get a bounce off this red uptrend line. Let's take a look next at our next cryptocurrency, which is going to be Stellar Lumens. Now, Stellar actually got a really big breakout over the past few days, and right now it's pulling back towards this blue uptrend line. I think that we could definitely get a bounce off this blue uptrend line and move higher from there. I don't really see multiple days of consolidation, probably less than a week at the most here throughout all these cryptos. It does look like there's going to be a little bit of consolidation right now, but like I said, I'm not expecting it to last weeks, really just a few days at the most. So here it seems like really within the next 2 to 3 days we could already get a bounce off this blue uptrend line, and our indicators are looking pretty good. We could get a synchronized bounce with that 7 line on the RSI. So still looking strong here, just a slight bump in the road for Stellar as it's trying to get back towards 5,000 Satoshis. Let's take a look at Vertcoin next, see if it's been making some progress towards that $3.23 level. So right now we're pulling back a little bit towards this uptrend line. Like I've mentioned previously, this is not the steepest uptrend line, which is good, right? That means that we have a higher chance of trending higher alongside it. And for now, that's what's happening. So I think we're already going to get a bounce tomorrow off the uptrend line and just continue slowly but steadily to move higher towards $3.23. Indicators still holding up nicely, but we do have our middle band, our MACD that's flattening out a bit. So we'll have to see if we're going to get a bounce there or if we're going to get a negative crossover. For now, though, we're still looking okay. Let's take a look at Lisk, and we're going to go over what's been going on. So Lisk is actually pulling back quite a bit here. We didn't really manage to hold above $12.15, and at this point, it looks like we're fully going to pull back towards, basically the middle band, or at most the red uptrend line over here. And they're basically around the same area, right, at around a little bit under $10. So what's interesting here is, like I said, we're in the symmetrical triangle formation between our two red trend lines for Lisk. And the end of that formation, which is most likely where we're going to be heading next, is at around $12.15. At this point, I think it's very likely that we do get that pullback towards $10, get a bounce off this red uptrend line, and then move higher from there. So I don't think we're going to be testing that downtrend line until at least the end of the formation. For now, probably going to get a little bit of a pullback, even more. Let's go ahead and take a look at Cardano next, see what's been going on. So Cardano was moving very nicely, right? We had our nice little run up here, and we are pulling back from there, which is completely normal. I'm going to go over to the Bittrex chart. Now, as you can see, we have a lot of support at 3,000 Satoshis. Already got kind of 2 bounces off that. Now, we are back below the 70 line on the RSI, which is a little bit bearish, and our MACD histogram are pulling back a bit. So we could see a little bit more of a drop towards the green uptrend line if we do end up dropping below 3,000 Satoshis. There's no way to know what's going to happen for sure here, but either way, we do have multiple support layers. We also have our middle band that's right in line with our green uptrend line. So at the most here, we get a bounce off the green uptrend line, I believe. And we're trading above the upper Bollinger Band, of course. Sorry, the middle band. So we're definitely bullish right now, and it's just a matter of consolidating, taking a bit of a breather before our next step higher, which would be a move towards 4,000 Satoshis and above. Let's take a look at IOTA for our last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update. And IOTA is currently bouncing off the $1.91 support level, so it's straight back to $2 now. Indicators taking up again, and we do have this kind of the beginning of a breakout here, it seems, back above $2. So we're going to see now if IOTA is ready to start pushing higher in this $2 range. It does definitely look like that's possible. And we didn't even get that much of a pullback, but as you can see, this short-term uptrend line, this green uptrend line, is pretty steep. So we'll have to see if we're going to manage to sustain above this level, What I think is most likely at this point is a little bit more of a breakout till, maybe closer to $2.50, and then we might pull back a little bit, maybe even lose the shorter term uptrend line and consolidate. But overall here, I think the general move is higher, and it really seems like we could get a move all the way up until $2.63 before we start to put in a little bit of consolidation. And the reason why that $2.63 is so key here is, for one, it's the next big resistance level, so it'd be logical to get a little bit of a pullback there, and that would kind of complete at least the first step of this little U-shaped recovery over here. With that being said, this is the end of this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.